Hey everyone, stop scrolling right now because what I'm picking up on is so powerful it's giving me chills. There's someone in your current reality whose feelings for you are so strong that they're cutting through every doubt, every fear, every external opinion. And what's making this so intense is that you might be completely unaware of the depth of what they're currently experiencing. Welcome back. It's Anna. And I don't care what anyone thinks. I need to tell you what I'm sensing right now. There's a quality in the energy around you that suggests someone is having a private battle, not a future battle, but one that's happening right now. A battle between what they think they should do and what their heart is screaming at them to do. Let me explain what I'm feeling here. You may notice there's someone in your life who's been acting differently lately. Maybe they're more present. Maybe they're reaching out more. Maybe there's an intensity in how they look at you or listen to you that wasn't there before. Some people experience this as confusion. They can't tell if they're reading too much into it or if something has actually shifted. They're getting mixed signals or they're getting clear signals, but they don't trust them. It can feel like you're in a conversation with this person and you catch them looking at you in a way that makes your breath stop, or they say something that sounds casual but lands heavy, or there's this moment of silence between you that feels loaded with everything unsaid. Let's pause for a moment because this feels important. This reflection invites you to consider, what if what you're sensing is real? What if that intensity you're picking up on isn't your imagination, but their actual internal experience? You may notice this person is currently dealing with resistance. Not resistance to you, but resistance from their life, from their circumstances, from people around them who have opinions about what they should do and who they should be with. It's possible there are voices in their world telling them this isn't a good idea, that the timing is wrong, that you're not the practical choice, that they should choose something safer or more convenient or more approved. But what I'm picking up on is this quality of defiance, this internal stance of I don't care what anyone thinks. In some situations, when someone's feelings get strong enough, external opinions start to lose their power. The doubt starts to quiet. The fear starts to matter less than the pull toward you. Hold on. Let me slow down because I want you to really understand what this looks like. There's a shift that happens internally when someone moves from being interested to being decided, from being attracted to being committed, from thinking about you to choosing you regardless of the obstacles. It's possible this person is currently in that shift. They're not just feeling drawn to you anymore. They're actively fighting for the possibility of being with you, fighting against their own doubts, fighting against external pressures, fighting against the part of them that wants to play it safe. Some people experience this as a sudden change in energy from someone. They go from lukewarm to intense, from unclear to direct, from hesitant to determined. You may notice they're showing up differently in your life right now. Maybe they're initiating contact more. Maybe they're making excuses to be around you. Maybe they're finding ways to support you or help you or be involved in your world. This reflection invites you to consider, are you noticing someone fighting to stay in your orbit right now? It can feel like this person is creating opportunities. Not waiting for perfect timing, but making timing work. Not waiting for easier circumstances, but working with current circumstances. Not waiting for permission, but deciding they don't need it. That proactive energy, that's what fighting for love looks like in real life. Let me talk about what might be happening with this person's internal experience right now. It's possible they're having conversations with themselves, maybe lying in bed at night running through scenarios, maybe talking themselves through fears, maybe weighing risks, maybe deciding that you're worth whatever they have to face. Some people experience this decision-making process as something visible. You can see them working something out. You can sense them building courage. You can feel them getting ready to make a move, even if you don't know exactly what that move is. This reflection invites you to consider, have you noticed someone in your life seeming preoccupied or distracted lately? Like they're processing something big? You may notice this person is currently less concerned with how things look and more concerned with how things feel. They're tired of performing for others, tired of making choices based on what's expected, tired of ignoring what their heart is telling them. And that tiredness, that's often what creates the courage to finally go after what you really want. In some situations, people reach a breaking point with their own hesitation. They realize that playing it safe is actually more painful than taking the risk. That wondering what if is worse than knowing what is. It's possible this person has reached that point with you. There's something I keep sensing about opposition and how it's affecting this person's feelings. It's possible the more resistance they face about you, the more determined they become. Like external doubt is actually strengthening their internal conviction. Like being told no is making them want to say yes even louder. Some people experience this as a protective instinct kicking in. Someone criticizes you or questions you, and suddenly they feel this fierce urge to defend you, to stand up for you, to make it clear that you matter to them regardless of what anyone else thinks. You may notice this person reacting strongly when others speak about you, or you might sense them pulling away from people who don't support their feelings for you. Or you might see them choosing you over situations where they'd have to hide or minimize their connection to you. This reflection invites you to consider, has anyone in your life been showing loyalty to you in ways that surprised you? It can feel like watching someone choose you in small moments that reveal their larger truth. They mention you in conversations. They include you in plans. They make space for you in their life even when it's not convenient. Those choices, that's what fighting for love looks like. Not grand gestures necessarily, but consistent prioritization. Let me slow down for a second because I want to talk about what this means for you. There's a quality in your current experience that suggests you might be hesitant to believe this. You might be protecting yourself from hope. You might be telling yourself not to read into things. You might be convincing yourself that what you're sensing isn't real. It's possible that protection is keeping you from seeing what's actually happening, from recognizing someone's feelings, from allowing yourself to trust what you're picking up on. Some people experience this as dismissing evidence. Someone shows interest and they tell themselves it doesn't mean anything. Someone makes an effort and they convince themselves it's just friendly. Someone looks at them a certain way and they pretend not to notice. This reflection invites you to consider, what are you currently refusing to see because you're afraid of being wrong? You may notice you're getting signs from this person, but you're interpreting them as neutrally as possible, giving them every out, assuming the least interested version of their behavior rather than trusting what your gut is telling you. But what if your gut is right? What if they do want you? What if they are ready to fight for this? In some situations, we're so afraid of being disappointed that we miss what's actually being offered. We're so busy protecting ourselves that we don't let ourselves receive. There's something about your current state that suggests you're worthy of being fought for. It's possible you've been in situations before where you had to do all the work, where you had to pursue, where you had to convince someone to choose you. And you're so used to that dynamic that you don't know how to recognize when someone is actually showing up for you. But this is different. This is someone who's doing their own internal work to get ready, who's facing their own fears, who's dealing with their own obstacles, not because you're asking them to, but because their feelings for you are demanding it. Some people experience this as disorienting. They're used to being the one who cares more, the one who tries harder, the one who has to prove their worth. And suddenly someone is matching their energy or even exceeding it. You may notice this person is currently showing consistency. They're not hot and cold. They're not disappearing and reappearing. They're steady. They're present. they're reliable. That steadiness, that's evidence of real feelings, of someone who's made an internal decision about you. This reflection invites you to consider who in your current life is showing up for you in ways that feel different from past experiences. It can feel like you keep waiting for them to flake or pull back or reveal that you were reading too much into it, but they don't. They keep showing up, they keep being interested, they keep making effort, and at some point you have to consider that maybe it's real. Maybe they do want this. Maybe you're not imagining it. Let me talk about what fighting for love actually looks like in present reality. It's possible it doesn't look like dramatic declarations or grand romantic gestures. It looks like someone consistently choosing to engage with you, consistently making time for you, consistently being honest with you, even when it's uncomfortable. Some people experience this as someone being vulnerable with them, sharing fears, admitting feelings, taking emotional risks that reveal how much this actually matters to them. You may notice this person is currently more open with you than they are with others. They tell you things they don't tell everyone. They show you sides of themselves they usually keep hidden. They trust you with their real thoughts and feelings. That openness, that's them fighting for connection. That's them choosing intimacy over self-protection. In some situations, fighting for love looks like someone working on themselves, not because you ask them to, but because they want to be worthy of you, because they recognize their own patterns and they're choosing to change them. This reflection invites you to consider, is anyone in your life currently growing in ways that seem connected to their feelings for you? There's something I keep sensing about timing and readiness. It's possible this person is currently moving through a process. They're not quite ready to fully declare themselves, but they're getting there. They're building courage. They're clearing obstacles. They're preparing themselves to show up fully. And you can feel it. You can sense the shift happening, even if it hasn't fully landed yet. Some people experience this as a building tension, like something is about to break open, like a conversation is about to happen, like clarity is about to arrive. You may notice this person looking at you like they're about to say something important, but then stopping themselves, or starting to text you something vulnerable and deleting it, or creating moments where it seems like they're about to reveal their feelings, but pulling back at the last second. That hesitation isn't lack of feelings, it's fear of feelings, fear of how much this matters, fear of what happens once they say it out loud. This reflection invites you to consider what would change if you created safe space for someone to be honest about their feelings. You remain in complete control of your choices here. You can dismiss what you're sensing. You can protect yourself from hope. You can assume the worst interpretation of their behavior. Or you can stay open. You can trust your intuition. You can allow for the possibility that yes, someone is fighting for this love. Someone does want you. Someone is ready to choose you regardless of what anyone else thinks. The power is yours. It always has been. You may notice that just reading this is bringing up emotions. Maybe relief that you're not crazy for sensing what you're sensing. Maybe fear that you'll be disappointed. Maybe excitement that this might actually be real. Whatever you're feeling, honor it. Let yourself feel it. Don't rush to shut it down or talk yourself out of it. Take what resonates from this. Leave what doesn't. Trust your inner knowing about what's true for you. Before we close, I want to ask you something. Who in your current life is showing up in ways that feel significant? Who's making effort that you've been dismissing as friendly but might be more? Drop it in the comments if you feel called to share. And here's another question. What would it feel like to let yourself believe that someone is fighting for you? What would change if you stopped protecting yourself from hope and started trusting what you're sensing? I don't care what anyone thinks. Maybe that's not just about them. Maybe it's also about you. Maybe you need to stop caring what others think about your hope, about your intuition, about what you're allowing yourself to believe. They want you and are ready to fight for this love. It's possible. It's happening. It's real. Not someday. Right now. Trust yourself with this. Trust what you're sensing. Trust that you're worthy of being fought for. Trust that real feelings create real action. You don't need to wait for perfect proof. You just need to stay open to what's already showing up. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, someone fighting for you doesn't always announce itself with words. Sometimes it shows up in consistent presence, steady effort, and a quality of care that speaks louder than any declaration. Pay attention.